Sidney Carton is arguably the most complex and compelling character in Charles Dickens's A Tale of Two Cities. Initially introduced as a cynical alcoholic lawyer's assistant wasting his talents, Carton undergoes one of the most profound personal transformations in the novel. His final act, sacrificing his life to save Charles Darnay, the husband of the woman he loves, elevates him from a life of waste to a symbol of redemption, resurrection, and selfless love. Through Carton, Dickens explores the enduring possibility of personal salvation, the redemptive power of love, and the moral costs of revolution. Narrative role. Sidney Carton plays a critical narrative role, as both a foil and a savior. He is the physical double of Charles Darnay, a fact that not only plays a pivotal role in Darnay's first acquittal, but also becomes the foundation for Carton's ultimate sacrifice. Where Darnay is respectable, refined, and principled, Carton is disillusioned, aimless, and emotionally wounded. This contrast invites readers to consider deeper themes of duality and identity, while also underscoring the novel's concern with moral choice over social status. Carton's presence injects emotional depth and moral ambiguity into the story. His unrequited love for Lucy Manette is a central aspect of his arc. It is not possessive or bitter, but reverent and transformative. Through her kindness and goodness, Carton finds a vision of what he could be, even if he believes it is too late to become that man in his lifetime. His declaration to Lucy, "I would embrace any sacrifice for you and for those dear to you," foreshadows the climactic act of self-denial that cements his role as the novel's redemptive figure. Carton undergoes one of the most dramatic and meaningful character arcs in Victorian literature. At the beginning of the novel, he is deeply cynical and emotionally disconnected. His self-hatred is evident in his heavy drinking and in his refusal to participate in life beyond the bare minimum required by his profession. He sees no purpose for his existence and no future worth striving for. Yet Carton is not simply a caricature of despair. Dickens subtly reveals moments of clarity and depth. He is intellectually sharp, morally perceptive, and capable of great feeling, especially when it comes to Lucy Manette. Her kindness awakens a long-buried desire in Carton not just to be loved, but to be worthy of love. He recognizes that he cannot compete with Darnay, yet he finds solace and meaning in his quiet devotion. This inward transformation culminates in his decision to sacrifice his life for Darnay. It is important to note that Carton does not act out of bitterness or romantic obsession, but from a profound sense of purpose. His death is not an act of despair, but of redemption. In laying down his life, he claims it back. This reversal, from self-loathing to spiritual transcendence, embodies the novel's central theme, that love and sacrifice are the keys to true resurrection. Symbolic significance. Sidney Carton's most powerful function in A Tale of Two Cities is symbolic. He represents the theme of resurrection, a cornerstone of the novel's moral and spiritual framework. Introduced as a man who believes his life has no value, Carton becomes, by the end, a Christ-like figure who willingly dies so that another man may live. His sacrifice is not merely personal. It is a symbolic rebirth. As he walks to the guillotine, he envisions a better world rising from the ashes of the old one. In this vision, he sees Lucy and Darnay's future children, living proof that his sacrifice was not in vain. Carton also symbolizes the wasted potential of genius. As a talented lawyer working under the bombastic and shallow Mr. Stryver, Carton performs much of the intellectual labor while receiving none of the credit. This self-effacement is part laziness, part despair. He sees himself as unworthy of success or happiness, weighed down by a sense of purposelessness. In this way, Carton becomes a symbol of what can happen when intelligence is not matched by self-worth or moral vision. In Christian symbolism, Carton clearly functions as a redeemer figure. His final words echoed in his mind, "It is a far, far better thing that I do, than I have ever done," draw on biblical language and allusions to sacrifice. like Christ, he lays down his life to save others, and in doing so, redeems his soul. Dickens uses Carton to argue that no life is beyond redemption. Even the most seemingly wasted life can be transformed into something noble through love and sacrifice. Broader implications. Sidney Carton's story offers rich commentary on the possibility of personal salvation in a corrupt world. His final act reaffirms Dickens's belief in the power of individual moral choice. Unlike the mob in revolutionary France, who are driven by vengeance and hatred, Carton chooses a path of love, even when it cost him everything. In a world where systems have failed, where law, nobility, and revolution all fall short, Carton's sacrifice stands as a beacon of hope. Moreover, Carton's transformation challenges social assumptions about worth and value. He begins the novel as a man deemed useless by society, but he ends it as its greatest moral hero. Dickens thereby critiques the Victorian obsession with reputation and success, suggesting instead that a person's value lies in the capacity to love, to choose good over evil, to act selflessly. Carton's fate also reflects Dickens's broader critique of the destructive cycle of retributive justice. In revolutionary France, the guillotine became a symbol of equal but indiscriminate punishment. Carton's death, though chosen rather than imposed, serves to redeem the moral emptiness of the mass executions. His act of love stands in stark contrast to the hatred that fuels Madame Defarge and her cohort. In this way, Carton becomes a countersymbol to the revolution, offering a path not of destruction, but of renewal. Conclusion. Sidney Carton is the emotional and moral heart of A Tale of Two Cities. From wasted potential to redemptive hero, Carton embodies the novel's central themes: the possibility of transformation, the power of love, and the ultimate triumph of self-sacrifice over despair. Through his journey, Dickens explores profound questions about the meaning of life, the nature of goodness, and the possibility of grace in a broken world. Though Carton begins his life in the shadows, cynical, forgotten, and emotionally barren, he dies a man of light and purpose. His final vision of a peaceful, renewed world, brought into being by his sacrifice, echoes long after the novel's final page. In that vision, Sidney Carton lives on not only in the lives of those he saved, but in the hearts of readers as a timeless symbol of redeeming love and the far, far better things we are all capable of doing.